Is it just generally not allowed, or what's
No,
the
something about the. Hey guys, how's it going? We're just waiting on Turn Up and Flood, like I said. But yeah, for some reason we can't tweet the Twitch link on Twitter anymore. I think it's been blacklisted because of. It's not like I've even spammed it that much. Like I really haven't.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Oh, rest in peace, Don. Don's dead.
That was my beer.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Sweet.
Starting off perfectly.
Yeah. I better stick some music on. Give the plebs something to listen to. Yeah, Monk S, exactly.
Yeah. It's all good.
How's everyone doing? How's it going on there? How's their Saturday night going? Is everyone keeping up to date with the trading competition?
Okay,
Hey Don, welcome back.
Yeah.
Fuck my life.
Hey XC,
Credit.
hey Towel, hey Coda,
Hey, Cred.
hey Cred. Yeah, Cred's like more invested in this podcast today than anybody else. Like he's so hyped.
Yeah, you got Cred on. You got Cred in there. Down move that led to the up move, of course.
Bro, I just tried. It doesn't allow me to.
Yeah, we've gotten him blacklisted, so.
Yeah, what the fuck happened to our podcast link?
Yeah, I don't
Or
know,
our
it's so
Twitch
weird.
link?
I don't understand it.
To get on fucking Twitch's shit.
I think we just have to say, like, we're live.
Ooh.
Ooh. Here, I've tweeted, hang on, I'll link it, everyone just retweet it.
Are you live yet or no?
Yeah, we're live, hey Turnip.
Hey, bud.
What's up,
I
T?
got stuck in line.
For what?
Why for what?
Here.
That works, we'll let you off.
Big line. I don't know why. It's like when you go to the place and there's like 8 different checkouts, but only one is open. So mad.
On the busiest day of the week for everybody to be buying.
Yeah, like so fuck. Hold on, I'm turning my air conditioning. It's fucking hot.
Yeah, it's hot in here too, but mine apparently, like, everybody complains they can't hear me talk, but the fucking air conditioning in the background is loud as shit apparently.
Dude, Zabs was just complaining because he's had his first winter in 7 years. He's like, I'm so cold, man.
It's fucking like 75
Yeah,
degrees.
yeah.
Like
His winter
zero
is like my
humidity.
summer.
Bro, it's fucking cold, man.
Dude, I'm from Alaska. You can't tell me fucking cold.
What is 8? What is 8 Celsius?
It's 8 Celsius there?
Yeah.
That is
Seriously?
kinda
Okay,
cold.
that is really cold, yeah.
What's a Celsius?
That is kinda cold.
So it's 46 Fahrenheit.
Zero Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit, so 8 would be, yeah, like mid-40s.
Yeah.
How did we end up here? Waiting on Flood once again. Anyway.
Whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna grab a drink real quick and then we'll start. Everyone cool with that?
No.
Well, fuck
Absolutely
you, we're
not.
doing it anyway. Yeah, I'll be back in 2 minutes and then let's start. Let's get this rocking and rolling.
Word. Let's go.
I'm already running out of beer. It's like my fourth one is already empty, and I only have 6.
If we are live right now, I just want to shout out to Nick Trades. I think last podcast was phenomenal, dude. I watched it again and I just think, man, it was really good.
It was.
So yeah, shout out to Nick.
Short B cash. Who's talking short B cash in the chat? Come on.
They just want a short Bcash because my 0.01 account to 1 Bitcoin is currently long Bcash, probably.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's long one. It's long 1 Bcash.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yee.
All right, ready to start this bitch?
Whoa, language, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah, family show.
Are we ready to start this podcast of all podcasts?
Yeah, there you
All right,
go.
let's fucking do it. All right, is everyone comfy? Everyone's got a beer or a drink.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone, has everyone been to the toilet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, that is all mucked up. Great stuff. Scuffed once again. Okay, so welcome to podcast number 4, guys. Our special guest today is Donnell. You guys, I'm sure you've all heard of Donnell. He's kind of, I would say, Twitter's resident bear. So if you haven't heard of him, you're obviously not on crypto Twitter. A bit of a controversial topic, or not a controversial person, because he is a bear and people hate bears.
Yeah, I know.
So, Turnip, you've been longing for like 2 months now. You've lost your bear status.
No.
No.
Okay, so
Cred says kill the music.
yeah,
Apparently
I've
the
killed the
music.
music. I've killed the music. Relax. Cred just freaking out again. Okay, so Don, you're kind of like Twitter's resident bear. You know, you don't tweet out with those guys, Bitcoin's going to 100k. You know, everyone just relax kind of tweets. You're very realistic about your targets and you're very upfront. You know, you're bearish. You're unapologetic for being bearish. It's quite cool to see. It's refreshing to see as well. And you know, Zabs has always said he enjoys your point of view on things, and he's quoted a few times where you've saved people money by being bearish. So what I thought we'd do is we'd quickly run through the basics, the frequently asked questions, because everyone wants to know, you know, how long you've been trading for, how did you get into trading, yada yada. So let's do that. Let's get that out of the way, and then we can talk about some funnier stuff.
Okay,
So
perfect.
so how long have you been trading for, my man?
So I've been full-time crypto for a year now.
Okay.
And before that, I was like trading with part-time for, I think, half a year. And even before that, I started with Forex trading. I didn't really do that long, but like for half a year. So it's in general, like it's 2 to 3 years, pretty much like 6 to at least 8 hours a day.
Right, okay, cool, nice stuff. Right, okay. And how did you get into crypto? Like, obviously, you said you
I
traded
started.
Forex.
Yeah, I mean, I started Forex to learn how to trade crypto, pretty much. So I looked at crypto trading and didn't really find anything online that I really found convincing. So I looked at the Forex markets and looked for a mentor there. Instead of straight up jumping into crypto to trade it. I bought like Dogecoin in like 14, I think.
Classic.
Yeah, just for fun. And then sold it like after like times 15 or something. And yeah, I'm hooked ever since, pretty much.
Sweet, man. Okay, so how did you discover Forex? Like, what made you want to trade Forex? Did you just were you just looking for a bit of like side money, or was it something you were like, you know, you'd seen maybe like a movie that made you think about trading, or did you just randomly find it one day?
No, I was watching the crypto markets, and I've always been interested in markets, like I've always followed them, but I never really wanted to start trading until like I discovered crypto, and then I was like, okay, where can I learn to trade the best? And everything I found in like the crypto sphere was pretty mediocre. So I said, okay, I'll start with Forex, invest into crypto. Like I invested into crypto, but learned to trade in Forex.
Okay, nice one. Okay, so started on Forex, broke into crypto because you were always watching it. Okay, and you've said you've done it full time for a year now. So what was it like changing your changing life, going full time? Were you nervous to do it? Were you like, hyped to finally, not be a wage cuck, as they say?
I mean, I was a student before.
Right, okay.
And then I don't know, like I just had either I was like my investment paid off like massively. So I went into Neo back when it was armchairs, went into Walker Coin back when it was like nothing, and like from the get-go I had enough money to say, okay, yeah, I can do this full time. And I've always been a guy that says, okay, I've made this amount of money, I'm going to put half away just to make sure that if I fuck something up, I still have enough to live off of. And yeah, that's been my fallback plan. So if everything goes bad and I just like trade like shit, I still have money on the side that I can.
Right, okay. Nice, okay. And you've just said you've moved house. Was that like a result of your crypto trading? Have you like, you moved into a house that you own? Obviously, you don't have to answer that question. The SEC might come after you. I'm joking. But
No. No, in general, like my brother had like real life trouble and was like a bit depressed, and I told him, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get him pretty much out of there, organize his life, and that's why I've moved house just to live with him, to make sure that
Donnell.
yeah, I just want to make sure he has his life figured out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's nice. Cool. Okay. So, what was your most memorable trade then? This is something that everybody's answered. Like all the admins have answered. And Zabs, when we were talking about again, we were talking about like questions we could discuss. Zabs talked about one near the tippity top. But what for you was your most memorable trade? You just talked about a lot of ICOs, so.
So my depends like trade on like back when I invested for sure Dogecoin just because it was super crazy. I went into vacation and just like I went into vacation and didn't have much money in it, and then I came back and it was 15 times that amount. Um, but in trading was I'm sure it was when I caught like the top of the Bitcoin rally. That was back in the days when Sebs and I were doing the Telegram group of venture coinists.
Yeah.
And I posted like a chart with all kinds of Fibonacci levels and everything, and pretty much traded from the top to the bottom, like at least 30 hours without sleeping, and pretty much caught every bounce, everything. Like the night went perfect, and it was like my first trade in like ×3 in the night, which was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, and you're obviously a much longer term time frame trader. Do you what's your favorite leverage to use? Are you like a low leverage kind of guy, or do you like to go in 25x all in like a degenerate?
I like to think of the leverage discussion in the sense that it all depends on position size, right?
Sure.
If I turn up the leverage to ×50, but only risk like 10% of my account, like it all depends on how much,
the
how
risk
big
of it.
it is. So, for example, if I have like a BitMEX account and I have only like tiny amounts there, I trade the maximum leverage, or like, I mean, for BitMEX it's only ×3, but it all depends on how much I'm betting. But in general, I would never go to like ×20, ×10 is a lot already. I feel like ×3 is more than enough.
Right. Okay. So, you're a Phoenix user, so 3x is you're kind of more than enough leverage.
I use both.
All right. Okay.
BitMEX and BitMEX.
What do you prefer? This is an important question.
I mean, I prefer BitMEX in general. But I like trading on BitMEX as well. BitMEX is great for altcoin shorts, not for longs,
Yeah.
I feel like, but for shorts it's pretty good.
Yeah. There's been a lot of discussion in the cartel recently about long and shorting altcoins because when Bitcoin's mucking around that there's easy shorts on a lot of altcoins. Okay, so that's your most memorable trade. Now it's funny you were talking about being in Venture Coinist Telegram. Venture Coinist being arguably one of the biggest cryptocurrency like influencers on Twitter, you know, aside from like McAfee and Vitalik, or however you say his name. So how did you come about becoming like a I don't know if you were like a mod or an admin, I'm not too sure in your actual rank, but how did you get involved with Venture Coinist Telegram, and you know what was the story there?
I mean, it was his free group, and I was just back in the day. I didn't really have much connections in crypto, just because I started off in forex,
Sure.
and then I was like, I'm just going to test out everything I can, and then I joined that group, and I saw so many people that were talking about Bitcoin going to 200K, 100K, and that was like pretty much at 19 or 18K, right?
Yeah.
God.
And I was seeing what was happening, because I was super bearish going into 20K, and then I was just like, yeah, just be careful, and everyone was hating, or a lot of people were hating, and yeah, so I don't know. I kept on posting just because I thought it was like so many people were going to lose money.
Sure.
And then the drop happened, and overnight it was pretty much like everyone was asking me where we were going.
So not only were you up in money, you were also up in clout, and everybody was suddenly interested in what you had to say after saying that you were a stupid bear, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Nice one. Okay.
And I mean, that experience led me to Twitter pretty much, because the free crew turned really bad. I mean, I think that was the reason why Sebs left. I don't know. We didn't really talk about it, but yeah, the quality just got bad, and then I was like, okay, where can I go next? And then I found Twitter, got into like contact with Cred, and then for some reason people started following me.
Yeah, I feel the same way on my Twitter. But okay, that's cool. So your most memorable trade, you know, how long you've been into, we've dusted off the frequently asked questions. Now, you know, we talked about being a bear, and you've said that you received a lot of flack for it and stuff like that. Do you, when you tweet out like a bearish tweet, are you like instantly expecting to be abused? Especially, you know, you were bearish on the bounce up to 10K and such, and you just said that you were bearish, you know, at the peak of euphoria, 18K and stuff like that. How do you like deal with the abuse? Do you just kind of zone it out? Has it ever gotten to you? You know, have you ever been like, Jesus, like, you know, these people are, you know, being really big dickheads for no reason, providing, you know, that I'm just trying to help out, or just giving my analysis of it?
Yeah, I felt that way very strongly at 11.4K. That was like my most. I posted like only bear stuff on that bounce from when we went to 6K and then bounced up. I was like, yeah, we're just retesting, and then I posted a bunch of bearish stuff. And back then I wasn't really that known on Twitter.
Sure.
And so I got really like a lot of hate for it. But once it played out, I feel like people stopped. Like, I'm one of the only bears that doesn't really get much flack anymore, I feel like.
Right. Okay. And I mean, has the flack ever made you like reconsider your thoughts in Bitcoin, or does it make you just double down? Are you just like, you know, if everyone's in this euphoric, then we have to go down?
Yeah, I've doubled down. Like, I mean, it's not a good strategy, but on the 11.4K, whatever, that's where I doubled down, just because of Twitter, pretty much.
Yeah, good
but
shit.
but it's like, in general, it doesn't really influence me much, other than sometimes I don't post. Like, I was pretty bearish going into on the altcoins, and I just, if it gets too much, I just stop posting bearish altcoin charts and just keep on posting Bitcoin.
All right, okay. Sweet. Okay, so we've kind of covered all the bases there on your interview, so we'll move on to kind of the general Q&A where everybody will answer the questions. But before we do that, I want to quickly discuss the trading competition, just give everyone an update. So the trading competition, anyone who doesn't know, which I'm sure you all do, it's 0.01 to 1 BTC, so it's 100x your account balance. We started yesterday. It's been just over 24 hours. It's been a really funny 24 hours because we've had someone triple their balance. Shout out to Joe. And we've had some people who are down 50% in one night, which made me feel really bad as the organizer of this competition. But like, I've updated the leaderboard, so let's have a quick look at that just so everyone can laugh. Okay, so number one is Jewel. Jewel tripled his balance because he went all in 86x leverage straight away. One absolute legend. So he's sitting at 0.0297. Next up is this guy who I honestly, for the love of God, I don't even know how to begin. Like Crown Ghost Bitcoin E-sign Broken Heart is 0.189. And then we've got a few others like McCanvas and Tommy Pax, and West is up 50%. Turnip is actually second, I believe, but I haven't put him in here. So, you know, quite a few people with like small balances. You know, I'm not doing too great. I'm only up 7%. And then we scroll down, and you know, not to pick on people, but VFK is in 0.031, so he's down 69%. Kijun's down 52%, and Whoopity Scoop Whoop Poop is down 47%. So that's only within one day. So I think it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here. You know, Jewel seems to want to do all-in trades, and so it's going to work out really well for him, or it's going to go absolutely horrible. But yeah, so you know, we're doing a trading competition. If you're interested, jump in the Discord, pay attention to the competition updates channel, which everyone can view, and I'll update the leaderboard every day. But yeah, so we'll move on to the actual questions, so we can actually get some conversation going.
That's kind of nuts in the first 24 hours.
Yeah,
like,
three times in your money overnight. You know, that's
this
pretty
is
nuts.
this is where you start to see like who has a strategy that's sustainable over, you know, like multiple trades, or if you literally just
I mean, are you in a position on your competition account? You've been very secretive.
Nope, I'm not in a position right yet.
Turnip, how you doing? How's your Bitcoin Cash long?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. How's your beer?
Beautiful.
Okay, so I thought we'd start with a funny one, and I'm pissed Flood's not here for this one because I actually wanted to hear what he said to this. So obviously everyone here, bar myself, is a full-time crypto trader. Have you ever told someone that you've met in person, you know, if you know you've just met them, let's say you're in a bar, have you ever told them that you trade Bitcoin?
No.
No. Okay, Donnell, have you ever told anyone you trade Bitcoin?
Yes.
Yes, and how did it go?
Actually, pretty good. The girl I was like.
That was the bonus question. That was the bonus question. Was it a girl?
No, I mean, it was just she was interested in the topic. I wasn't like, yeah.
No, she was interested in your money.
No, I didn't tell her that I made much money. It's just that I'm trading and teaching people stuff, and she was super interested.
Was this before or after December?
It was just like 1 month ago or 2 months ago, I think.
Oh, nice. Okay. I made the mistake of like, you know, people have caught it on my screen once or twice, like looking at a chart at work, and then like obviously when it was in the news, like it dumped from like, you know, 20k down. Everyone was like, oh, so Hodam, have you lost all your money and all that shit, like bragging, and I was like, no.
Yes.
Why would that be someone's like conversation
but like
topic?
These are my friends, and they're like my friends, and
What
they're
a
literally like,
bunch.
I bet you lost all your money, eh? And you're like, what the you fucking fuck off, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
Donna, you told her. Okay, did it help the conversation? Was it a good icebreaker, or was it like someone you actually knew already?
No, it was I just met her. I don't even remember her name anymore. It was just like we talked for 2 hours and then we went our separate ways. But it was interesting.
Okay, so she was like, Jesus, he trades Bitcoin. I'm getting out of here. All right.
Exactly.
Kane, have you ever told anyone?
Yeah. So a few, you know, like I have a local place that I like to go down to, know the owners and shit. I just used to go there all the time on like Friday, Saturday night, and just like sit at one of the tables and like chart or do research. A lot of people would think I was the DJ at first. They would ask me. That was always really funny. I'm sitting there literally with like a MacBook by itself, no fucking like deck or nothing. Fucking, are you the DJ? I was like, literally the DJ is 10 feet behind you in the other corner with like all the equipment and everything. But I think my most memorable time was, gosh, it was back when ETH was doing its first, huge run up from, into 3 digits. I think it was like we were at like 375. And I was at the bar, and literally on a Friday night, I had 4 different guys come up to me and was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, I'm just, researching stuff." And they saw like the chart, and, like, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm, trading Bitcoin." "Oh, have you heard about Ethereum, bro?" I literally sold like 50% of my Ethereum, like within 24 hours. I have 4. Yeah, I have 4 different like frat bros come up to me in the same night and, "Oh, you heard about Ethereum?" Yeah, and we peaked at like 420 like a few like days later, and then we just dumpstered, went sideways for months, and I was like, "Yep, that indicator still works."
Okay, and have you ever told a girl that you traded Bitcoin?
Yes.
How did it go?
Well, it went well.
Okay. Okay, so moving swiftly onwards from that. Okay, so let's talk about
It was before December.
okay. Let's talk about cryptocurrency adoption for another fun subject. Someone submitted this question. It's actually quite a good question. Everyone talks about cryptocurrency adoption. Everyone talks about it as if it's a sure thing. Okay, as if it's going to happen, as if it must happen. All those banks are going to go down. But what service or what functionality would you like to see come out of a blockchain or from crypto in general, to help bring like blockchain technology to your average Joe?
Supply chain management. I think it's beautiful for supply chain, like, honestly. And then
is there not a banana coin that tracks all the banana shipments in the world?
Fuck
I'm
off.
sure I've seen it.
And then from just like close to home, real estate. Like, if you could get a platform and a system that is easily understandable and executable for real estate, you know how much money you save by cutting out the third party, like all the third party money that you spend in real estate. It's ridiculous. So
Avoiding
I think
them
like,
fees.
yes, you have to look at traditional business, the way traditional businesses function. If you want a very successful business, you need to solve a large problem. And then the way that our society is set up now, what are the things that are very popular? It's things that provide convenience, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Uber, these things that just kind of cut out all of this time or energy that you would spend to get towards the goal. So the same thing should function.
Okay, so would you say things like you're talking about like Uber, you're talking about Netflix and Amazon Prime? Are you saying that because I mean, it's pretty easy for people to set up these services, like you're talking about real estate, like a one-stop shop with less fees. Like someone could come along and do that with like fiat, still support Visa and MasterCards and bank transfers. Do you think it's just a case of cryptocurrencies need to get there first and make a name for themselves, or do you think it would be just phenomenally better with blockchain technology?
Next.
Okay.
I looked into it. I find it interesting that Kane said real estate, because back in the day, I looked into it as well, because I thought it was a great idea too. And I've talked with some people, and I think the main problem with it is the legislation. So it's really hard to. It's a really old business for one, and it's really hard to change anything like change any laws to support it. So I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet, but we might be in the future.
Oh, Kane's internet died. That's why I cut out there. Okay, so you agree with real estate then? Okay. Turnip.
I mean, I like it, but I don't think it's gonna come in the next years.
Okay. Do you think blockchain adoption will actually happen? Blockchain.
Yeah, I think so, but I don't think it's going to happen like everyone, like most people believe. I think it's going to slowly creep into our lives, and instead of being that big revolution that everyone dreams about, and I think most use cases that people talk about are just unrealistic because you can use other means to do them better. But yeah, I think for some it's going to change. Like it's going to change a lot, but I don't think it's going to come as quickly as everyone thinks, and I don't think it's going to be as widespread as everyone thinks. But I still like it.
Okay.
I mean,
Sweet.
It's
Okay.
all a scam. It's all going
It's
to
all a
zero.
scam. Zabs, is there anything you would like to see the blockchain solve, or any real world problems you think the blockchain would be the best use case for?
Yeah, look, I mean,
Porn.
to answer the last question, which you skipped me.
Sorry, I know you're married, so I didn't think you would try and chat up girls by telling them you trade Bitcoin.
Nah, it's just, I mean, I definitely see myself as a little bit of an advocate for blockchain technology. I mean, I definitely try chuck it into a lot of conversations and just see what, like average,
Yeah, in it for the tech.
not average people, but like, like the general people think about it. And most people do see it as a currency. They don't actually understand the technology behind it, and they don't actually understand, like, it's disruptive and what it can do. But real world stuff, I mean, if we take a look at what happened with the vote in the USA, I think
So like
countries could probably they could probably do the vote with the blockchain. So, I mean, you would be verified on a blockchain. You wouldn't have to go stand in a line and do polling stations and that type of thing. And
Yeah,
I mean,
you probably see a better
vote,
turnout for your votes as well.
yeah, and your vote's anonymous, so no one knows that you actually voted. I mean, you just registered on the blockchain, and there'd be another handshake which verifies the information to find out that you are indeed a citizen of that country, and you are above the age of. I mean, there's a whole bunch of tick marks that it could.
Yeah, for sure.
Verify, and then I mean your vote would still be completely anonymous, but I mean you could do it from your phone. You wouldn't have to go stand in the line. You wouldn't have to, make sure that you have to go to a voting station first to register. And I think it definitely would help. Like, I mean, if I look at Africa, just a lot of people that are maybe registered, and there's a lot of identity theft here. So, it would stop double voting, or it would stop.
Yeah, it would stop being abuse of the system.
that sort of stuff.
Okay, and it would solve like that. You used America as the example. There's all these accusations that Russia interfered with America's voting systems and stuff like that, but and it might not be true. But even the fact that there's implication that could happen is enough to make you worried.
And I'm just using the vote as an example, but I mean, it would cut out half of the rubbish that the press print about whether it did or whether it didn't happen, or
Sure.
it would just like literally nullify it. And I think there's quite a lot of applications for it. Also in especially I wouldn't say team sports, but individual sports like tennis. I mean, you could pretty much you could literally have every pro tennis player, for instance, on the blockchain, and all of their information and how their performance is. They could like the ranking, even
like
in
rare
golf, for
pennies, but
instance.
for like tennis players.
Yeah, or golfers. I mean, imagine
Right.
if your handicap was on the blockchain.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to You wouldn't be able to, you know,
hide it or abuse it or anything like that. All right, okay.
hide it. Yeah. So I mean, I definitely feel that those things would probably happen first, and the minute that people start getting comfortable with that, you know, with blockchain technology in general, I think then they would be comfortable with money. I mean, for me, I am comfortable with cryptocurrency. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I asked one of you guys, could you do X, Y, and Z for me, and I'll pay in Bitcoin, you know, Ethereum or whatever, I'm pretty sure that most people in the crypto space or that understand the technology and know how
Yeah, happy to
use
receive payments from that method. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
You can talk about it.
happy. But when you do speak to somebody else, you know, they're just like, I think that it's not so much about the fact that it's volatile. For normies, I think it's actually more about it's just, you know, completely different to how you would do it, you know, if you had to pay someone through a bank. So
Yeah.
you'd have to get the other person's details, and then you'd have to, you know, send it, and then it takes 3 or 4 days to clear. So people are kind of, that's the standard, and they're happy with it. But they've never actually seen that, you know, I mean, I whenever I send crypto from exchange to exchange, there was a time when I was just doing it with Ripple, with XRP. And I mean, literally, you could send the XRP, refresh the other tab in your browser, and your balance would be there. I mean, literally, it's like 1.5 seconds. You know.
Yeah, it's fast.
So I think once a person actually experiences the actual currency side of it, I think then they kind of sold on it. And then the questions start coming like, okay, but is it actually worth what it's worth? Why is it worth what it's worth? And then those questions kind of come up. But I think the beginning is just people struggle to understand how the technology works, and that it's not really money that the general population are willing to accept. So I reckon, you know, if they did start it with other applications and people got used to how the technology works and how, you know, like your private information could be stored in a wallet, for instance. You could go to the doctor and literally just, you know, swipe your phone over something, and all your medical details are completely secure. No one can, you know, hack and get them, and you could pay your medical bills and stuff like that. I think as soon as that side of things start coming through into the general public, and then I think a lot of people would then start looking at adopting.
Yeah, okay. So you just basically want to see like,
but I think
more real world use
those
cases.
type of applications would probably be the first line of.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
So you want to see more real world use cases for it. You're saying there's ways that we could hold, you know, you can use the blockchain to, because it's decentralized. You can fully trust the information that's on it essentially. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so some of my questions are cut because you know, Ken and Flood are dead, and 2 of my questions were a basis on what I wanted to ask. They were kind of targeted at Flood, so we'll skip around a little bit here. So to liven the conversation up a bit after a heavy topic like that, who's your favorite Twitter trader, cartel excluded? Okay, and you can't say Cred either because that's an easy choice, Don.
Shit. Oh, that's difficult. I mean, there are a lot of people
in fact, they don't have to be because they're great traders. They can just be, you know, if you find their memes funny or whatever. Anyone on the crypto Twitter sphere.
Yeah, I'm not that big into memes, so it's like, for me it's trading, and I like for altcoins I like oh god, how is it called? I've got like massive problems with names. But I mean, I've learned a lot from ICT.
Sure.
But he's like
there's not really crypto.
Yeah, it's not really someone.
I'm sure you even have more followers than him.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I work closely with Cred. That's the only one that I really have contact with.
Cred's actually gonna fly in just to rescue us, and Kane seems to be back as well. So,
Okay.
what's up, Cred?
What's up, Kane?
Oh, there's Flood.
Whoa.
Everyone's here now. I'm gonna fuck off. Bye. Have a
Yeah.
good stream.
Oh wait, Flood's here as well. Oh shit. Oh, Cred left. Okay. Hey Flood, hey Kane. Finally glad to have you guys back in here. Okay, so Zabs, what?
Fashionable 47 minutes late.
Yeah, 7 minute new Flood record. Okay, so Zabs, who's your favorite crypto Twitter trader?
My dad.
I like Jeremy Ross.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, his
And
stuff's
then-
good.
Yeah, and then there's a South African guy who trades shit coins. So Crypto Rogue, pretty cool. And then I suppose, I mean, I like Nomad, and I like Moku.
All right, okay, yeah. Everyone shits on like Ichimoku Cloud, but love Moku. So it's a bit of an interesting dynamic because he is literally built around the cloud. Kane, welcome back. Turn up.
Hello?
What about you?
Okay, good.
Oh, my dad.
Your dad. Does your dad have a crypto Twitter?
No.
Can you link it?
He does not. No.
Okay, so you can't.
He
choose
bought at 9K. No, he bought at 8K and sold it at 20K.
What fucking did you instruct him to buy and sell at those points?
I did, sir.
Did
Nice,
you give him
love
financial
it.
advice?
Yep.
Financial advice.
I did. Yep.
Sweet. And did you get a good Christmas present that year?
Yes. I don't know actually. That's a good
It
question.
must have been,
Yeah,
it must
I
have been
know.
not that good if you can't remember it.
Probably. I would say maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay. Solid response. Ken, the question, if you missed it, was your favorite crypto Twitter accounts, bar anyone in the cartel, and you can't say cred as well.
Oh, Desos is my favorite.
Kaz.
Kaz? Why Kaz?
Kazonomics. Oh, because I think he just plays on the psychology aspect so well.
Okay, so just
People
because
can't-
of his
Economic.
the kind of tweets he puts
People
out
can't-
this cycle.
Yeah, I mean, he has nailed so far the macro reversal of multiple things, and I mean, I'm very heavy on playing the psychological aspects, certain things, Ripple, Bitcoin Cash. Kaz has fucking been on top of Bitcoin Cash the entire time.
Sure.
Excuse me. And I respect that, and I think that he gets a lot of hate for being kind of his lone wolf self, and I respect in the face of all that, he's still maintained a fantastic track record as far as we can see from Twitter publicly.
Flood's called him out as a known shitcoin scammer.
That's predominantly most of crypto Twitter.
Yeah, true. Okay.
Not me.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
It's because there's a difference between being unable to trade shitcoins and being a shitcoin scammer.
Well, if you know that the intrinsic value of all those coins is 0, I mean, you're just kind of gambling.
Sweet.
Gambling in a way to make money.
Yeah.
Sure, but I don't need to. I don't need to like rapidly expand my capital at this point with really risky plays, in my opinion. It's just taking on risk that you're not really rewarded for because you have no way to hedge.
Well, there's an interesting question. Flood, obviously, we know the answer for this for you, but what have you guys made more money trading, altcoins or Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Alts.
Alts, yeah.
Alts.
Don says alts as well. I was
Bitcoin.
gonna say if you're talking about how you bought Neo and such at the bottom. What about you, Zabs?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
You're like how many altcoins do you traditionally hold at any one time, Zabs?
I've only got ETH and XMR, and then I buy a few. Like every now and again, I've got quite a bit of Tether. That like I can't buy a full Bitcoin, for instance, on Finex, and then I just buy like the cheapest coin possible, and then literally wait until it goes up. So I mean, like AIDS or aid.
You had the AIDS.
We made like 150% there, and then I just bought Yo-Yo wallet like about for the last 4 days.
Yo-Yo wallet.
Okay. Okay, so Flood, I'm glad you're back because I had a couple questions that I was hoping that you would help us answer. One of them being about up-down contracts. So, are you here? I see your mic's muted. Are you around to answer a question? Gonna take that as a no.
He's doing his hair. He's doing his hair right now.
He's doing his hair. He's getting ready. Okay, let's talk about how Guy linked me this article. Okay, just 5 minutes before the stream. I think it's really interesting. So far in 2018, now considering it's the 2nd of June, in 2018 there's been more US dollar contributions to ICOs than there was in the whole of 2017. And last year was obviously known as, you know, like a crazy time for ICOs. The run up in December and stuff like that was just like ICO. So EOS, I mean, there's been 10 billion this year so far. Just like a couple 100 million over the whole of 2017 at this point. So 10 billion so far spent on ICOs in 6 months. 4 billion of that is EOS. 6 billion of that is other shitcoins. Do you guys think that ICOs are getting like completely out of hand ridiculous, or do you think they're here to stay? We're going to see more and more of them, and again they're going to get more and more. I mean, you see these ones with like bonuses, right? Like 150% bonus. Like so, you know, some poor pleb will buy 1,000 of these coins for 1 ETH, and you know some whales will get 2,500 coins per ETH just because they're putting in more. Is this sustainable, and is this really bad for the cryptocurrency world?
I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? It's like so bad. I think that's gonna be the thing that pops first.
Yeah.
Like
I agree with that.
Okay.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I don't. So many people put so much money into stuff that is virtually like worthless, and I mean, 90 to 95, maybe even 99% of those are gonna be worthless in the end. So
Yeah, and you know, we're talking about EOS as well. I mean, 4 billion on EOS, and they don't even have a live working product yet. Like they don't have an actual tangible product to show for their coin, and it's worth 4 billion or more.
yeah, it's pretty like. Cred and I used to joke about it, like when it overtook SpaceX in market cap. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
I think you look
Look,
at.
I think
Go ahead, Zabs.
I'm just, you know, it would be amazing to actually know the amount of market cap that went out of the market. You know, on Bitcoin's way down from 19,000. I would just love to know how many, you know, guys that were in crypto. So in other words, you know, like they'd obviously see an opportunity. So they would, let's say they got in last year at 3K, rode the wave up, sold, you know, anywhere between 15 and 20. And then, you know, a whole bunch of ICOs that looked promising came up. That then took their dollars and put it into ICOs, or that, you know, I would love to know
Who
if
cashed
it
out?
was that way, or if it was just completely, you know, like guys that weren't into. Because I mean, if you chat to just you know, like normies, most people haven't even heard about Ethereum. You know, like they kind of only know
It's
about
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
and that's it.
So ICO, I would generally feel that it's people that were in the crypto space, and maybe they were hedging against Bitcoin going down. I mean, I don't know.
Have you been in the like? I've been checking out the Super group and whatever, like Superman and like there's a whole subgenre with the ICO guys on YouTube and Facebook, and it's really, really big there, and they don't really do anything else than ICOs. I think there's a lot of people actually that mainly do ICOs, and like have most of their money in ICOs.
Yeah,
or, like,
I've seen that a few times. You know, people who just mainly trade the ICOs because they're always chasing like the the 100x and all that jazz.
exactly.
And you only
Yeah,
really
no,
see the crazy 10x, 100x's with like really low priced shit coins. That's why
Well, the
like.
thing with
There
oh,
you
go ahead.
No, on you go.
Well, yeah, I mean, with ICOs, that was kind of a driving force for a lot of the cryptocurrency sphere, I guess. I mean, you see so many projects that are just extraordinarily well funded. I mean, if you think of them like startups, it's like them receiving, tens of millions
Yeah.
for, a product that probably wouldn't receive any callbacks, like if they were pitching at a venture capitalist firm.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting to think, okay, yes, ICOs, whatever, people are adults, they can do what they want with their money. But how long will that last? Like, what is my incentive of getting into an ICO where someone can potentially hack or run off with my money? I'm talking on a more long-term perspective or from someone who's already very wealthy. It's like, why would I give my money to some developer in hopes of making a return? Or maybe the pre-sale is the only guaranteed return that you
Yeah.
have. But even so, there's not always going to be sufficient liquidity to get out. I mean, look at Pantera, right? They're smarter than all of us here, and they're down like 88% on their ICO desk. So, you just gotta. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but it will come to a very bad ending eventually. I mean, it's gonna happen because ICOs, the only real incentive is you want to sell to someone else, right? And it's again just another mode of speculating on the price of, in this case, it's like a startup or I guess a developer's marketing skills, not even really their product.
Yeah. And as you see, like
I mean, I think once the first ICOs run out of funds, because let's be real, like all the ICOs, they don't really get any money besides their funding from the ICOs. They don't really have anything. No one really has any product that makes money. And once like the ICOs, the first ones run out, it's just going to snowball, I think.
Yeah, and what are the developers doing with the money that they have? Are they just holding the coins for their own personal gain? Because usually the money these guys that you guys are talking about, how much capital they're raising for their product. That's because they're holding a supply of a certain percentage of the coins. So what happens when those coins start tumbling and they, like you say, Don, like they run out of funding, and up until this point, what are they spending the funding on, if anything?
Lambos.
Lambos.
Yeah. Once it really starts going, it's just going to be really, really bad, I think.
Have you played any ICOs recently, Don?
Not recent. I used to back in the day. I've played like the BQX. It was like I think it made like times 100 or something in the ballparks of. And DNT, I don't know, District OX. Those are the two I played like back in the day. I was really, really lucky, and ever since then I don't really want to have anything to do with ICOs.
Yeah, stay away from them. Okay. And do you guys think that like ICOs tumbling down into a bottomless pit of Wojaks would be negative for Bitcoin's price?
That's really hard to answer.
Yeah, that is hard to answer because you have a few narratives to play out. Like
I'm not talking about like a random ICO now and again like necking. I'm talking about like every ICO
sphere.
coin in the last like 6 months like just getting absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, it's just a question of where is the money going, right? Is the money going out of the market because people lose trust? Or is the money going into Bitcoin or like bigger projects like Ethereum or something? I think if something like an exodus, ICO exodus would happen, the whole market would come crushing down for a while.
Yep.
And you need that purge though. Like that would be the time. Like post that, you think of it. I hate to always use the example, but if you think of it as like the .com structure and bubble, like post that is when you can really have some type of framework for evaluating like long-term winners on a better scale.
Yeah, once all the scams have been knocked out, basically.
Yeah, but I mean that purge will hurt. But post that, that's when you're hopefully going to have a better, idea of how to evaluate things and look at long-term winners. Whoever can, survive that, working product, good community, structured as a business instead of just, the way it is now. I mean, it's funny, Cred and I were talking about this too. It's like so much of right now, it's marketing budgets. Like,
yeah,
who needs a working product if you can spend 70% of your budget on marketing and pump your shit fucking 25x, you make your money and you dip out. Like, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's happened already on some fucking, what was it? We've seen this happen, almost like once a month since like December. Fucking, what was it that they just deleted their whole entire website, and like you go to their website and it just said penis. Like,
oh yeah, it was like a scam ICO, and they raised like $15 and then closed the website and just put penis on the index.
Yeah, but like, $15 is now 15 million, or 150 million, and all of a sudden, like, people are just shit out of luck and sitting on the sidelines. But
I think there's also a second fold to it as well. So I think this year what happened was, I mean, the whole hype was going, and a lot of people were obviously, thinking Bitcoin was going to go down or whatever. And there was a stage where there were loads of OGs. Well, I mean, I wouldn't call them OGs, but I mean, huge Twitter accounts that were basically telling everybody, hedge your Bitcoin by going into, going into ICOs. And I think that they had obviously, already bought in at a stupid, like ridiculous amount. But apart from being a scam, I think what's really going to hurt the market anyway is, a lot of these ICOs came out when Ethereum was like, 900 to 1,300 for 2018.
They're still holding coins that were valued at like a US dollar value that are, way higher up than where we are now.
Yeah, 90% of the ICOs are done on the ERC20 token. So, I mean, it's all linked to Ethereum. And I think this is really bad for Ethereum more than it is for Bitcoin. Because if they do have to, if all the ICOs basically dump, Ethereum is going to go.
Just imagine a world of that.
Yeah,
all right,
nowhere. Okay. And the only reason why I say Ethereum is that most of the ICOs aren't even listed on an exchange. So, the only way you can kind of do it is,
you guys have seen it, like IDEX, which is like a decentralized exchange, is getting thrown around all the time. Like, I've never seen anyone talk about IDX before, and all of a sudden everyone's talking about buying, like, these like a liquid shit coins, as Flood loves to call them. And everyone's suddenly like flying around, oh, buy this, guaranteed 10x and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of people chasing those 10x more than anything. Like, how often have you seen someone invest in an ICO because they actually believe in the product, as opposed to like they read the white paper and they were like, yeah, I think this is like, this will go from 3 cents to 30 cents, so it's a 10x, so I'm going to chuck in, an ETH or two, or I'll chuck in 1 or 2 BTC, as the saying goes, and hope for the best.
I mean, if you think about it, who's the realist there, though? Like, is the guy that believes in it really, like, smarter than the guy that just looks at the valuation and says, okay, yeah, this is gonna make it times 5?
That's a fair point. All right, okay. So let's talk about a subject that Flood has discussed on Twitter. So BitMEX have released up contracts and down contracts, okay? And so far, neither of them have ever been profitable. And, if you if you've been following Flood's tweets about it, and I hope you're going to unmute your mic and talk in a second here, Flood, because this is kind of pinned around you. But this is a, you know, so far we've chopped in the range from where we would have been profitable on the up contracts. You know, right at 10k, we were closing in on it, and the bottom suddenly formed just before down contracts were in profit. You think we'll never? You think those contracts will never ever be in profit?
No, I mean, they could. There's always a possibility they can finish in the money, but they kind of have a defined range that at least they expect Bitcoin to stay in every month. And as long as volatility keeps going down, I think their spread is way too large. So unless we maybe cut those ranges in half, I don't think any of them are going to finish in the money, at least not while volatility is trending down right now.
And do you think that these are kind of like test ranges from BitMEX? You know, you may see them, you know, the next time they do them, or next time that they start, it could be a, you know, like you said, a 50% less range or so, or do you think they'll try and keep a wide range like this?
Well, I mean, I don't think they really have any incentive to do anything because nobody's trading these contracts. Nobody cares. So, I mean, I think they're just trying to kind of introduce people to options and maybe get people, you know, convince people like, hey, we have options here. Like, why would you trade on Deribit? But, I mean, in my opinion, it just kind of seems like they're being a bit negligent. I mean, they're kind of just marking them as idiot taxes. I mean, even if you do use Black-Scholes and you try and calculate what the value would be for, you know, these options, they're usually priced 10 times what they should be worth. You know, even if you overestimate the volatility. So, I mean, I don't know. I think I would rather see BitMEX add, you know, other altcoins like maybe EOS and stuff like that. I think that would be better for their exchange. But I've kind of given up trying to understand what they're doing. Honestly, I mean, it seems like they're just trying to deal with internal problems with overload. So when it comes to these options, I think it's kind of like a non-event. But it's interesting to note that their range has been intact so far. So
and do you,
that's
you're saying you kind of think they're like a knee-jerk reaction to some of the circumstances that have been popping up, like you're saying the overload problems, which, you know, have plagued BitMEX, and to the fact that there's like new exchanges like Deribit popping up that are offering these and a much better product at that.
Well, I mean, I think all Bitcoin options are just, it's so low volume that there's no point to even trade them. I've tried to get into various option, you know, spreads, but I just never get filled. there's no point for me to kind of pay attention. But I think it just kind of stems from BitMEX. They don't really have any other option but to use an anchor market maker. I mean, we know that they've been in-house market making for a while, but you know, people don't really understand what market making is. So there's a lot of misconception around there, which I assume that's why they weren't very public about their in-house market maker, just because crypto Twitter people, you know, typically don't have a finance background or just started trading 6 months ago. So for me, I think that what BitMEX is doing with these contracts is just avoiding the overload function. That's the only reason why you can't short them, which in my opinion, there's no reason to trade a contract if you can't be the writer of a contract. So that would be my answer.
All right, okay.
I would just stay away. Yeah.
Has anyone here bought any up or down contracts?
Oh yeah.
Did you actually? Or are you just saying that?
No, I really did. I bought up contracts the first time they came out.
Did you lose? How much did you lose on them percentage wise?
Oh, 0.1 Bitcoin. It was super fun. I recommend it to everybody.
Well, you lose everything.
Yeah, okay.
If
So
option-
Yeah, I bought 10.
Okay.
How did you buy 10? That's my question.
I don't know. I bought 10.
Okay.
Flood said don't buy them, so my first thing was to buy them. Yeah. That's literally why I bought them, because I was like, I don't know what these do. I don't understand this shit, but I'm gonna buy it. And then I lost everything.
So you fell for the idiot tax, as Flood called it.
Yeah, and then he bought the downs, and then I was like, I want to buy the downs too. So then I bought some downs, and then
You just like saying that.
yeah, it's hilarious. That's what Flood was like spamming in Trollbox.
Everyone
It was the
buying
only time. It was the only time you could use all caps, and they can't ban you.
Yeah.
I have the downs.
by the time.
Jesus
I
Christ.
have the downs. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Flood, Perma Bull, Donnell, Perma Bear, butt heads a few times, once or twice on Twitter. There was a couple little arguments. You guys have kissed and made up, from what I can tell.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, Flood, everyone knows Flood loves talking shit. Don, you're obviously used to getting talked shit because you're a perma bear. You know, we were talking about that earlier on. Was any different when someone like Flood, or if like, you know, someone with, you know, someone who makes proper calls comes at you, or not comes at you, but calls out your trading ideas and says they disagree? Does that affect how you think about them more than just your average pleb? Or are you still like, you know, you talked about doubling down when Twitter gave you shit for one of your shorts. Does that, when Flood came at you, did that make you want to double down?
No, I mean, it always depends on who's going to talk with me, right? If someone like just comments on my Twitter post and I don't know the guy, I'm not going to, like, if he shit talks me, I'm not going to listen. If it's someone that I trust, has like skills and knows what he's talking about, I'm going to think about my position again. But in general, I wouldn't change my position just because someone else has a different opinion.
Yeah, got to trade your own chart and stuff like that. Okay. And Flood, for you, was it, you know, you've talked about how it's, you just disagree that being bearish on Bitcoin long term is the viable thing to do, or was it solely because of like the way the chart looked? Was it just disagreements about what the chart was telling you?
No, I just thought it was funny, man. I mean, I think Twitter is a good. I think people take Twitter too serious. Like, it's not a real brand. It's not. If you're if you're using Twitter as your means or source of income, like, I just think pretty lame. I think you should get it from trading. But for me, I mean, I didn't mean any, you know, disrespect or anything. It's just, you know, if someone's stuck in their bias, sometimes it's good to kind of give them a little jolt or something. I'm definitely hard-headed, and I've been bag holding longs before. I mean, I've had to double down, triple down on longs. But what I would argue in terms of, you know, being a perma bear, perma bull, you look at Bitcoin, especially if you're trading on Bitcoin margined exchanges. I mean, if you really do hit the big short and it goes to, you know, close to zero, you are paid out in Bitcoin. So after a 50% drop, it's not even profitable anymore. So that's, you know, that's something to consider as well. And if you just look historically, Bitcoin has been, you know, an extremely upward trending asset. I mean, it's unlike anything we've ever seen.
I
So
mean,
yeah, go
sorry.
ahead.
I mean, I'm actually like, I'm called the Terror Bear always, but I'm actually not.
Yeah.
I mean, I was super long up to 20K. It was just once we like fell down, like the second top we made at 17K, I just was like, okay, yeah, we might have a bear market, but I think long term we're gonna go up. It's just short term I'm bearish, but my bearish positions are always smaller than my bullish positions, just because being bullish is the correct play long term. So I'm pretty much counter trading the long term trend, and when I'm doing that, I need to adjust my position size and yeah, risk less.
Okay.
I think Twitter too. I mean, like Flo was saying, it's kind of a joke, especially with. I mean, I fall into the category of like no financial background, came into this and learned shit, but I mean, it's almost just like that herd mentality of like, oh, this has to go up. How dare you, you know, have some type of, you know, conviction behind your counter argument to things. It's like, you know, Turnip and I all through at the beginning of the year, like, I love to short Bitcoin. I make no reservations about that. I think finding shorts for me it's easier for my brain looking at a chart. I'm less emotionally connected to a short. Like it's just easier for me to trade the short side of things. But like you just have everybody, especially, and I've made this comment before too, like a lot of the people that are super vocal about, being permabull or that talk shit to anything, consistently bearish, they just probably have too much money invested and they're comfortable losing. And so they are like emotionally like tied to their bias, like they have to be, or they just suffer the pain of losing money the entire time.
Yeah.
Fully
Okay.
agree.
Okay. So
I mean, sorry.
no.
I mean, in general, like, I'm always, the thing is with Twitter is you only have so much to write, right?
Yeah.
So you have to write, I'm bullish or I'm bearish,
Mhm.
if you want people to know where you stand. But it's never that clear cut. It's always,
Yep.
okay, I see the chance of it going up as lower. Like, you always have chances and you just
Mhm.
calculate it. And in the end, on Twitter, you write, I'm bearish or I'm bullish. And I think that's why a lot of people don't really realize what's going on behind the scenes, because you only see, like, you have to make a call in the end on Twitter. But I'm not going to like advertise every single move I make. I'm not going, like, no one is. And
There's no responsibility to, and like you were saying, like there's no, people don't see the deliberation, like the actual analysis, every part of it you do, unless you do something like credit and you have like a fucking 15 tweet thread breaking down, annotating a chart 15 different times of why you did this, and then you're still going to have people who are just emotionally connected to something coming against you. Oh, no. But I mean, you're going to have that anywhere, always.
Yep.
Yeah.
And back to the point that Flood earlier said, with the being stuck in the mindset. I mean, he actually pointed, like, rightfully so, like he pointed out that I was stuck in the bear mindset, and like, in hindsight, I should have, like, I think I shot at 8K and like 8.5K or something. And in hindsight, I mean, it was pretty obvious that I was just that those calls were biased. I mean, we went lower than that in the end, but yeah, it happens. Sometimes just the bias is too strong, and
Do you guys have any methods for like checking your bias, making sure you're not
Cut out.
Cut out.
Sorry, I'm saying, do you guys have methods for checking your bias? To make sure that you're not being a bull tard, bear tard, whatever you want to call it.
I mean, conversations like this, like that's why I enjoy like having the Discord and knowing Flood for so long, and Zabs, like turn up, like having, like Don said, a group of people that you trust, but you don't blindly follow. Like, how many times have people seen us as admins disagree on certain things,
And then one of us ends up underwater.
Yeah, and yeah, I think Don said it. The main point is, can you have enough humility, in the right sense, to constantly audit yourself? Not to doubt your bias or not to doubt your position, but to actually be open to see both sides of everything. Yes, you have to weigh the probability, and in the end, as a trader, you have to pick a side and take a trade. But can you constantly stay open to changing that when someone brings logical correction or information to the table that you might have overlooked?
Sure. Okay. And Zabs, you got anything to add to that?
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, I also, I often get, taken down as well for being a perma bull. I also, I do short. I do sell Bitcoin and buy it back lower. So, it's just, on Twitter, I like making bullish calls, but also coming down from 17K. I mean, I think the second price action video at 17K, I basically said like short it. And then all the way down on Twitter, was kind of neutral. I was just like, you know, here comes support, and then we would break through it, and then I'd be like, okay, here comes support, and we break through it. You know, I'd say like I would be bullish if we close above, you know, type of thing. And I think that the big issue is that when you are a trader and you manage your risk properly, there's actually no issue in taking a trade as long as you do
Like
you know,
proper stops,
practice.
proper risk management, and all that jazz.
Yeah, I mean, fuck, in the end, that's what it's about, right? I mean, you kind of, it's not gambling, but it's, you know, you weighing up probabilities, and you have your style and the way that you trade. So I think that's the issue, and I think, like, I mean, in Luke's group, Don was pretty much bullish with me from when Don joined, probably like June, July.
Yeah, I think so.
And I mean, we were like literally every chart was bullish, and everyone was trying to, you know, trying to short it. Like literally everybody would be like, you got to, yeah, we're shorting here. I'm gonna short over here. I'm gonna short over here. And I mean, Bitcoin just kept on going up. The levels, you know, I mean, it was all price discovery. But I mean, the momentum was huge, and the news just kept on coming in. So I mean, you had to be bullish, and Don was bullish as well. I think that the biggest thing was that when Don said that he flipped bearish, I think the thing that really triggered most people was that he said, you know, he's selling all his alts as well, and I think that triggered more people than anything else. Everyone was like, "You telling me I'm gonna sell? Like I've been bag holding this shit. I'm not selling." You know, like I think that was the biggest issue. And then I mean, basically got onto Twitter, and everybody kind of knew that he was bearish at that time. And then, you know, now he got labeled a perma bear. So like, I think that's the biggest issue on Twitter. I think people just kind of, you know, like if
They have
constantly
to label and compartmentalize people.
Okay.
Otherwise, you know, like it's not that fun. Like
Yeah.
I think people also like to challenge. So if you go like, okay, things look pretty like bullish, and I mean, from the 8K mark, even though we went down to 7.1, from 8K, we were dropping so slowly. It kind of, I mean, you couldn't really be full on bear tard at even from 8.5, 8,000. You know, like I mean, you could still have a bearish inclination, but I mean, you would definitely be looking at closing some of your shorts. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I closed like a lot of my shorts at 8K. Just
yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah.
So and I think that's the problem. So I mean, you would say, okay, I'm closing my short here, but everybody on Twitter still thinks that you like a bear. You know, it's like, okay, I'm actually just waiting.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see what happens, and then I'll take another trade.
Okay, so we've got a good mix here then. So let's talk Bitcoin price. So, you know, and unfortunately, you know, we did the last podcast 2 weeks ago, and the BART bullshit started up again. And you know, we're still kind of doing it. However, we've bartered up what 3 times? No, we've pumped twice from the bottom, and we haven't reversed down yet. What's everyone thinking about Bitcoin just now? Are you guys bullish? You know, Don, you were saying this is looking like accumulation again. Are you thinking about taking a long? Are you staying out of this chop?
No, I'm going to. I mean, I'm still in like my biggest position pretty much, which is short. But yeah, I'm just waiting. Pretty much, I'm waiting for the interaction with either 8K or another drop down to 7.69 or like 6.6.
Okay, so you're looking for a clearer signal. So you are short just now. You're saying, sorry.
Yeah, I'm still short, but I mean, I started it pretty much like at 9.5 around there, and it's for me. I always label my stuff in like, if I take a trade based on the monthly chart, and it's a monthly short for me, and I'm not going to close it because of something I see on like the hourly or daily.
Yeah, you're a much longer term trader, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Flood, you still staying out?
I mean, I had a nice little scalp recently, but I'm only trading with 30 to 40 Bitcoin on these short-term time frames. So when I take longer trades, like when I'm looking at more of the macro perspective, I guess, um, my position sizes are a lot bigger, obviously.
Yeah.
So, for me, I mean, I think it's hard to be bearish under, 8K. I used to say it's hard to be bearish under 10K, but now, I mean, we didn't even break 10K, so that doesn't really work. But I mean, when we're so close to like 6,000, 7,000, I just think, if you're trying to bet with the trend, the time to short was like 8,000, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think now is the time where you want to accumulate, a large long position. And for those of you unfamiliar with trading, large positions, takes time to get in and out of them. I mean, yeah, you can just market close on Max, but you're gonna eat a lot of fees,
Yeah, absolutely.
which you generally want to avoid. So for me, uh, but if I was thinking like an institution, I mean, I wouldn't short Bitcoin. I just don't think any, risk compliance department would allow you to short Bitcoin because your downside is infinite potentially, and your upside is, limited, right? Whereas with a long, you can at least quantify your downside versus like, you technically have infinite upside. I mean, this is all, theoretical, right? But so, I mean, I could see them buying puts, over the counter puts, but I don't see them shorting on Max. And that's why I get really upset when people are talking about, like, oh, big players are shorting. Like, yeah, of course, big players are shorting, but they're most likely hedging their even bigger spot position.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone sane is net short on Bitcoin for long periods of time with thousands of Bitcoin. I just don't think that happens consistently. Maybe if you're loops or something, but
maybe if you're loops or something. He's been tweeting
it's
a lot.
cool. Yeah, it's cool for smaller traders to, try and short Bitcoin, like go for it. But I think, most bigger traders that I know that I talk to in groups that I'm a part of, and myself included, I mean, I'm not that big, but I do have a considerable war chest now.
I like that
I
war
think-
chest.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
Who calls it
you know,
This be my
I
this
call
be
it
my
that.
booty. Arr.
This be my
Booty.
my fucking army, what I pay my soldiers to go into battle with.
My soldiers. Jesus.
My buckhorns, yeah. But
Corns.
I don't know, man. I don't think anyone sane is like net short on Bitcoin for
Turn up.
extended periods of time.
Turn up. Are you underwater just now?
No, why?
I don't know. You've been underwater on longs quite a lot recently. I just wanted to try and wind you up.
Oh wow. What a
No,
dick.
we had a positive turn up stream last night.
Oh yeah, you
I'm currently flat.
Yeah. Well, you're long, but yeah, flat.
Yeah.
Where are you,
You know what I
Where are
mean.
you in the trading competition?
What's
your balance
I'm at pretty much double.
Oh, so you might actually be second in the trading competition then.
Yeah, most likely. I know I'm a baller, but no, seriously though, I've made one trade, so enjoy that. I haven't even closed it yet, so I plan on winning this competition by just one trade.
just one trade.
Yeah, I'm dead serious. You think I'm kidding?
I'm not. No, I believe you.
No, seriously, I'm gonna win with one trade.
Okay.
And you're all gonna cry when you're sitting there like waiting for entries, and I literally hit a buy button. And I marketed in.
Okay.
You ate like 20% of your account in fees.
No, I didn't. It was 3 Satoshi. Get it right.
3 Satoshis. Zabs?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago I said 7-1. And, I mean, I didn't even trade it up to 7-1. I closed my short at like 7-5. I really thought that we were gonna bounce when we reached that S2 level like last week, and then we did go a little bit lower. But I'm flat at the moment, so I'm looking at getting into a trade, and I didn't buy this. I mean, I was so sure that we were gonna reach 6.8, 6.5.
Yeah, but it was like one of those things where every single person in their grind was talking about 6-8. So we were either going to break way lower than that, or we weren't even going to get that far.
Yeah. Like I say, I mean, and my most recent tweet was the 3-day swing low. So, we've got 30 minutes left. It looks like the swing low is definitely going to play out. And today we got the actual cross on the stock RSI. So, I don't look at all of these things and say, oh yeah, this is why I would be buying. But I mean, for sure, it's a reversal, and I would probably look at, starting to build a position on Finex.
Okay.
For the comp, I haven't taken a trade. Like, I spent most of the time with my family today, which was really cool. And then probably tomorrow night, I'll definitely
That's
start
Zab's
looking for.
subtle way of telling you that his wife is a supermodel, by the way.
Yeah.
He dropped that in a
Fuck
conversation
money.
with us.
Fuck money. I'm gonna spend time with my family.
Yeah. No, it's just like I've really been working hard, so
Yeah, it was good to take a
I
day
got home
off.
early today, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then I actually wanted to trade. I wanted to go long on ADA, and it did break out of the
Ross.
flag. Take the trade.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Kane, polishes off. What are you thinking?
So it's a little bit multi-layered. So I mean, going back to the talk about like people love to shit talk other people's calls and stuff. Like, I've gotten flack for being long since 9-2. Like, the thing though that we talked about as well is like, I don't divulge everything about every single trade. So I've been short since 9-7. Closed about 50% of that short, around 7.5, kind of the same thing that Zabs had. It was the kind of like the first dip back into like the daily / weekly block that I was looking at. And my long from 9-2 started as like a fifth of my normal position size for like a longer term long. So that's been averaged down to around 9 or 7.9.
Okay.
It's still at 50%. Still have 50% of my short. Kind of what Flo was saying too. When you're playing longer term with a little bit larger funds to work with to build positions, it takes time. So being able to build along underneath the umbrella of a profitable short, like, I'm fine as far as larger position is concerned. Even if we were to keep going down, my short is going to stay in profit and cover a large portion of whatever loss you would take on the long that I've built. And that's just how I run it on like a longer term thing. Scalping has been a bitch lately for me. I took a little bit of time off the past week during the whole chop down here. It's profitable if you can nail it directionally correctly. I kind of took like a few days off, and then once you kind of get out of the flow of how the market feels, especially for scalping, it's kind of weird getting back into it. So I just took some time off. I've got a lot on my plate for this month. First and foremost, I want the volatility back. So doing the 0.01 to 1, also doing a 1 to 100 for myself personally. That's predicated on volatility. And like Flub was saying earlier, we're at the lowest volatility that we've ever had, and it's
$50 ranges for a day is not fun.
Yeah, it's been nice for some studying, some testing, as far as low time frame scalps, learning, refining entries, refining setups. Because when you're forced to nail everything within $3 because you've only get 2 good directional trades a fucking day, if you take the time to study, it's been good. But I'm ready for a clear trend with some volatility. Yeah.
Okay.
Up or down doesn't matter.
Yeah. And I had a question that I've just completely forgotten what I was going to say. Trading competition, Flood, Zabs, Don, if you were doing the trading competition 0.01 to 1 BTC, you guys are longer term traders. You don't traditionally use a lot of leverage from what you guys have all said. So what's your strats? Flood, you said you're a 15-minute scalp god. I'm interested to know what your in normal market conditions. Let's ignore the fact that the chart looks disgusting just now. What is it you look for? What's your game plan for this?
I mean, you just really want to, I guess it was a lot easier before overload. I'd probably have to trade somewhere else because before we would get these really insane liquidation candles
Mm-hmm.
and I would just start, market selling with pretty high leverage, like 5 times and 10 times. So start with cross and then just start market selling into those really huge liquidation pumps once you see a couple 8 million, 9 million. Because chances are that'll retrace. So it's like a mean reversion play. I wouldn't necessarily say it's scalping, it's more just mean reversion. And if you have 1 or 2 Bitcoin, it can be pretty profitable as long as you don't mind losing it. Because sometimes it's just gonna run you over, right?
Yeah.
But maybe 3 or 4 times out of 10, maybe you'll lose. But the rest of the time, if you're smart about it, like imagine shorting, 7,670, right? And you just kind of market short. Maybe you get filled like 7,640. You dropped all the way down to 7,659. It's like the ETF denied bot. Like as soon as you're in profit, 0.5, you just market close. But that's not really possible now with overload because you'll just get kind of trapped in your position. So I don't think that's why I'm not really doing the competition on top of like, probably I'm gonna end up working for a fund. So I'm kind of sorting that all out. I don't I'm trying to I guess
Prioritize the real life stuff.
Yeah, prioritize that, but also become a lot more comfortable with position sizes that I used to work with. I'm only trading with a couple 100,000 contracts right now, but with this fund, I'll be trading with a couple. So just trying to reaccumulate myself to that, or reaccustom myself to that.
So you're avoiding a scalp competition because you need to get back into the swing of doing the complete opposite, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, you can scalp with large positions, but you just got to be really careful. I'm not really a scalper, so I'm just kind of advising them a bit on when to. I mean, they're pretty much a traditional like equities fund, like just long short equities. So I want to get into crypto, so I'm kind of helping them with buying it, stuff like that. So.
Okay, and if you start working for a fund, are you still able to share charts on Twitter and stuff, or is that something they'll be wary of?
Yeah, I'll still share charts. I'm not gonna really post position sizes that much.
Yeah, obviously not.
Just because, but yeah, I mean, I'll post position. I mean, excuse me, I'll post charts, and I don't think they'd have any issue with that. I'm just obviously not gonna. I can't really talk about anything that I'm doing. They'd be too happy because I have a pretty foul mouth on Twitter and stuff. And I don't think they'd want any. That's why I haven't mentioned the name or anything because I don't think they want any association that way, which I don't have a problem with.
With your online personality.
Yeah, with my exactly. So that's why I am, pseudo anonymous, I guess, with my Twitter. 1 or 2 people know who I am, but what can you do about that?
All right, okay, and Don, what would be your strat if you were doing 0.01 to 1 BTC, and you had a time limit of a month on it?
I mean, if I was doing it seriously, I just wouldn't do it. I mean, it's just a bad way of trading, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, like so obviously you're not forced to trade, but there's more pressure to take trades and capture every move because it's like a time limited thing. But let's just say for a laugh, you did this competition with a 0.01, you put $70 on the line, and you wanted to win that BitMEX t-shirt.
I mean, you have to trade pretty. I mean, my trading style is pretty much I determine higher time frame trends, and then I wait for like people to get enthusiastic and think, yeah, it's going to the moon, or like it's going down to 0, and then I trade based on those higher time frame trends, which is pretty difficult to do if you do it on the small time frames. because
Well, I don't know if you come in the cartel general chat, we scream Doom and Moon every $10 move, so that'll be a good. Yeah, you can counter indicator that if you want.
Great indicator.
But I mean, for me, like high leverage trading, short time frame moves like we are having right now, it's just not my type of trading. So, I mean, I would look at it in the sense that it's a big trading range, and then I would try to long because we are like closer to support than we are to resistance. But in general, I don't really like it. I wouldn't really. I mean, I never trade based on the 5, 10, 15 minutes charts. I don't even like the 1 hour charts. So yeah, this trading challenge would be really difficult for me, I think.
Alright, okay. So I'm keen to get you on the next one then, that'd be hilarious. What about you, Zabs?
I'm over here taking trades on 1 minute charts.
Jesus.
1 minute Fibonacci levels.
Look, for me, I think the main thing is I'm gonna basically just wait for this 3-day swing low reversal to actually happen, and then I think I'm probably gonna trade quite a few alts just to get my bag a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
And I'll probably go with quite high margin, but really short-term trades on the alts. And then as soon as my bag's a bit bigger, I'll probably just, but basically the last 3 weeks or the last 2 weeks of June, I'll probably just be trading Bitcoin.
Okay. Are you gonna go in high leverage, or are you just gonna go for like some lower time frame? Like once you've got a decent sized bag, are you just gonna try and compound, or are you gonna still go for the big crazy swings?
No, I'll go for big swings, but I'll still trade daily probably.
Sure.
So I'd see where the daily level closes, and then kind of just trade the 4 hour chart within the daily.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Okay. So I think it's going to be really interesting. You know, it's only been 24 hours already, but I'm interested to see how next week plans out for the trading competition, because you know we've had a couple of people just big dick you know a long straight in there, and they're up like three times already, but you know, do they actually have a plan? Are they going to get liquidated really quickly, trying to do the exact same thing every time? So yeah, I think it'll be a good laugh. But I'll keep it updated, the leaderboard updated every day, so you guys will be able to read it all. Do you guys have any questions you want to ask Donnell before we round up?
Donnell, how long have you been trading for, and do you have any professional finance background?
We've talked about it
You
earlier.
already talked about that a little bit? Oh, my bad.
But should I repeat it or?
Yeah, just go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
So, I mean, I'm not professional. I've been I've been trading for like 2 years, full time for 1 year, and then like part time for a little bit more than a year, and I've invested for longer than that, but yeah, no professional background.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you're obviously have a skill for trading, at least for, counter trading what the majority of people think. So that's a good thing.
Thank you.
Cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, kind of the same question that I had talked about earlier. Do you find it easier to be in shorts, like emotionally, psychologically? I know you kind of like refuted the whole like perma bear bullshit, but like for me, it's psychologically easier to be in a short. I find them easier.
For me, it's the opposite. I find it I find finding shorts is easier than finding longs for me.
Mm-hmm.
But being in a short being short Bitcoin is always stressful for me. So like for example, the monthly position I'm holding, yeah, I would like to get somewhere that I can close it. It's just that the chart isn't giving me an exit. So I prefer being long. I find finding shorts easier just because in crypto it's pretty much always either people are super excited or people are like in thinking everything is going to zero. And
Yeah.
and I mean, yeah, you like the story you told earlier with Ethereum. It's pretty much, I think it's pretty obvious when the tops are coming in. But yeah, the same story actually for the bottoms. But we haven't really, like, ever since 6K we didn't have any capitulation, and that's why I find it really difficult to go long right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I prefer long over short for sure.
Right. Okay. It'll be interesting when when an actual bull run starts again to see you posting bullish charts and stuff like that. People on Twitter will still be unhappy with you. They'll still be telling you should be shorting and you're an idiot. But it'll be cool to see that coming out. Okay. Do you have any questions for us, or not for me, but for everybody else?
No, but
I've got a question for Don as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Zabs, on you go.
Don, what alt bags are you holding, dude?
Give us the show.
I actually, like, currently I've only got like super low market cap ones that I rather not chill.
Respectable.
Yeah, just in general. I mean, I only have them because I couldn't sell them because they're too illiquid to, like, get out of. Some of them I've been stuck for like half a year or something. They're still pretty much. It's like, I don't like being in altcoins for very long. In general, every time I buy altcoins, it's when people don't want altcoins, and I get rid of them relatively quickly, just because, like Flood said earlier, I think it's pretty much a ticking time bomb. And I mean, it depends on what kind of altcoin. I mean, Monero, for example, is something I like, but for everything else, I just try to, like, catch the beginning of the alt season and then sell at like half of it or a bit more, and then I'm happy and stay out of altcoins. So currently I'm only holding like the illiquid altcoins that I can't sell, and I hedge them with shorts on Ethereum.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Anyone else holding altcoins still?
Yeah, I have an altcoin to show.
If you say Raven coin, I'm gonna scream. No, Flood. Have you seen someone submit a question to the forum and they literally they were like, if I hear one more Raven coin joke, I'm gonna flip my fucking shit.
No, it's not Raven coin. It's Z coin. I like privacy coins, so
Yeah.
yeah. And I also just right now bought the
You doing the master node?
I am Nomads. No. Yeah, I have a couple master nodes, but no, Nomad has his I was looking at his shop. Shout out to I am Nomad. He has his 100x or GTFO shirt, and then Whale calls there's no need to be upset. I just got both of those.
Sweet.
I just bought them, so
We actually
if you guys haven't checked him out, you should definitely go look at his Redbubble.
Alright, we need to get some. Do Redbubble accept crypto?
No.
We need to.
You gotta pay with credit.
We're gonna sort
Credit.
out some more cartel branded t-shirts and stuff like that since Bandito abandoned us. Rest in peace.
Yeah, since he abandoned us.
Yeah, for a baby of all things. Ugh, Jesus.
Ugh. And his paid group.
Yeah, and his paid group.
Walden. Sell out.
Disappointed. Okay, cool. So a little bit of a shorter stream than we usually do. Apologies. Oh wait, Flood. Sorry, turn up. You're on mute.
Free.
You were literally like taking a phone call. And you were like, "Hello." Yeah, I'm good. And Donnell was getting confused. He thought you were talking to him.
Yeah, my mom called me.
Oh, mommy, turn up.
She's like, Bitcoin, I see it's going down. Are you all right? I'm like, yeah, Mom, I'm fine.
I see Bitcoin is taking a dump. My mom texted me that once.
It's like, Mom, everybody that watches my stream reminds me every day. I don't need you to remind me too.
Did you tell them you stream?
Yeah, they call it the broadcast.
The broadcast. Are you broadcasting today, Turnip?
Yes.
Shout out to Turnip Stream. I'm there all the time. If you guys ever want to ask me or Turnip questions,
I'll be there in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Whenever we're done.
Yeah, Turnip, shut up. Okay. Well, I think we'll finish up here. Donnell, apologies. I didn't have as many questions prepped myself, and the questions that the cartel decided to submit this time were utter dog shit. And then when I complained about them, they took that as a invitation to post more joking memes. So Cred literally posted, question 1 was just Bitcoin, question 2 was up, question 3 was or, and question 4 was down. Bitcoin up. Someone asked a whole array of questions about duck poop. They were great. And
Bitcoin's going up. As long as we can start closing above 7,800 in the next 2 days, Bitcoin's going up.
Yeah, Flood's giving us a shill. We can make it happen now, boys.
Yep. Everyone go long.
Everyone go long. Use your new institutional money. Oh, sorry. Okay, real
I
quick.
will. I will go long with that money. Don't worry. That money is all I have pretty much, complete authority over that as long as I'm not too underwater. So that's gonna be all long.
Okay. XC has a question, which he wanted you guys to talk about. We kind of talked about it last week, XC, which is why I kind of didn't do it. But he was talking about how the algos are, algo trading is taking over. Is this sustainable?
This is a flood question.
This is a flood
Is
question.
this sustainable? As in,
can the people okay? So would you say that the current price action is due to a bot?
yeah, of course.
Okay, so do you think the people who are running that bot can sustain this? Do you think it's profitable for them, what they're doing, and do you think they will just continue to keep doing this?
Okay, so actually, I guess I'm not really friends with them, but someone I definitely respect has some data on this, and basically they're hypothesizing that a lot of it is because of overload. So my answer to that would be I don't know, and it depends if overload is fixed. So
Okay.
if overload is fixed soon,
Mhm.
then I think we will see at least a reduction in the algorithm's strength. But for now, I think it's kind of unbeatable unless someone really large wants to start fading it.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
and fading it with hidden walls, right? That would be how you fade it.
Okay, and obviously, would you say this is off-putting to retail traders to see stuff
yeah.
like this? And how is that going to affect, if this continues, this kind of price action? Do you think we'll see just, volatility just completely
You'll
net
just see
for the long
that,
term?
and that's kind of what they want, at least short term. It seems like it's an accumulation. Well, actually, we know it's an accumulation algorithm. So, I don't know. I mean, I would say pay attention and draw conclusions for yourself. But for now, I think it's here to stay because they're clearly making money off of it. So
Yeah.
I don't know why they'd stop doing it if it's printing money for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Just let it run. Sweet.
Yeah. So for now, I mean, I think retail traders should stay away.
Okay. Wait it out until something happens. Alright, okay. So yeah, that'll conclude podcast 4, let's say. Turnup's gonna go live in a second. And like I said, apologies for the lack of good quality questions this time. I was out all day today and I've spent most of my week working on the competition. So my bad on that side. So
Hashtag blame Hodem.
what?
I said hashtag blame Hodem.
Yeah, hashtag blame Hodem.
Yeah.
Scuff streams
Fuck
every
that
time.
guy.
Okay,
I've
but
got
Donnell.
another question.
Okay, on you go.
I've got a question for all of you guys for the comp with the 0.01.
Mhm.
And I suppose it's the guys that I have traded max. Would you only be trading on perpetual, or would you actually take up a few futures position?
Ooh.
I talked about this in my stream last night a bit. So I like to take a higher time frame trade on futures, and then scalp perpetuals on lower time frames within that. So you essentially have, hopefully profitable, longer term position, and it's almost like a psychological umbrella for scalping in and out on a lower time frames.
Yeah, but I mean it's 0.01. But
Exactly. That's why, like, right now, off the initial, no, like right now for me, off the initial amount, it'll be perps only, up until at least a doubling of the account, before I even look at diversifying into perps and all positions.
So like the opposite of what Zab said. Zab said he was going to go alts first, then perps. You're going perps only until you've got a decent chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
yeah, but I think that's also just got to do with Kane sculpts. Like this is going to be really challenging for me, and I'm actually glad that I'm going to be doing it.
Learned something new.
It's something.
This will be a nice introduction to Mex for you.
Yeah. I mean, I personally, not that my opinion is weighted here, but personally, I'm gonna be cross the whole time. Probably just I might touch alts a little bit depending on like how they look, but I'll probably just be perps, and I'll just hold positions for like, I'll just try and get like a decent entry, like let it go up and then just put a stop in profit, and I'll just like let it build up. I'm not looking to like go all in 86x like Jewel. I think more than most are gonna get liquidated or blown out on the as we continue into this. Like a couple people go like flying ahead. You might see someone go to like 0.05 in the next week, and then they'll get like completely blown out because they got cocky. So I'm just gonna try and compound like interest the whole month, and it's probably a bit boring, but we'll see where we go, and then hopefully I won't be the last. I won't be the staff member at the bottom of the leaderboard.
Or you will be.
Or
I mean, if Flood doesn't trade it, all you need to do is literally make a Satoshi and profit, and then you're not at the bottom of the leaderboard. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right.
I may jump in late and then just be the dark horse.
Cred actually said he was going to jump in.
Don't lie to us, bud.
Wait until everyone's liquidated, then I'll start playing.
That's cheap.
That was my original plan.
That's what Relius is doing. He's not trading for the first week until everybody. Actually, he said that, and then he took a trade yesterday, so he gave up pretty fucking quickly.
I love Aurelius. He's one of my favorite posters in the CryptoCartel.
That's just because he's toxic. Did you see what Esbrad did earlier on?
What, did he ban Ross?
Well, no. He made it. Apart from that, he made a toxic rank. Okay, and he made it bright pink and gave it to everyone with toxic in their name. But he wanted he wanted it to show on top of like everybody's rank, so he put it above moderators, right? So he gave people like Ali essentially moderator permissions, and none of
What
them,
an idiot!
Yeah, I came into the Discord, I saw the toxic rank, and I like noseyed at it, and I was like, what?
Did
the
he
fuck?
know they had permissions?
I don't think he did, but I
No,
instantly
your friend's retarded.
yeah, I instantly deleted the role, and I was in staff chat. I was like, "Who the fuck did that?" I was so mad. Ali and Leon running about with like admin privileges, basically.
I gotta go through the audit log now and see what fuckery happened.
Yeah, I know. I don't. Well, I said in general chat after I deleted the role.
Watch full volume. Watch full volume, guys.
Watch for the volume now.
Yeah, the 3-day swing low just closed there.
Oh.
Oh right, okay. The daily just closed.
So now we're gonna dump. Watch.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna dump.
Nah.
Anyway, okay, so we'll end the official cartel stream here. Don, it's been a pleasure having you on, buddy.
Yeah,
Thank
Don.
you very much.
Yeah,
for that.
thanks, Don. Thanks for stopping by, bud.
And
thanks for
we'll
having
hopefully,
me.
we'll
Also,
hopefully have
thanks,
you
Don.
on again soon. I'd like to do like some more cartel and friend streams, so like maybe get you and Cred on like the duo act, and we can listen to Cred talk about his handcuffs again.
Yep. Wait, what the fuck?
We were making jokes of it last night on stream. He's handcuffed by his brand manager because of the brand manager moves. But he said they're pink and fluffy and comfy, so it's not all too bad.
Okay. Well, yeah, I would
Pink and
expect
fluffy.
nothing less from Cred.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll get the podcast VOD up on Monday, and we'll see you guys in Turnip
Alright,
Stream.
I'm going live now.
Bye, friends.
Thank you so much.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.
Later, you
Bye.
goddamn homos.